Right now at noon, hundreds of thousands of acres burned across the Pacific Northwest. What local crews are seeing on the ground as hot, dry conditions continue. Plus a weather impact alert with temperatures expected to creep up into the 90s this week. And later, at least 3 U.S. service members killed in Iranian strikes over the weekend, with a chance of an off-ramp to peace appearing to move farther away.
We could prepare all we wanted, but it is pretty tough out there.
Our top story here at noon, more than 85 wildfires have scorched more than 200,000 acres across Oregon, forcing evacuations and stretching state resources. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. Just moments ago, Oregon's governor used the Conflagration Act to call more crews in for 2 fires burning in central Oregon. A number of these blazes were caused by last week's lightning strikes, although hot and dry conditions over the past few days have led them to grow quickly now. Libby Dowsett has more on the efforts to keep these fires under control.
The Oregon Department of Forestry says it's already deployed its last incident management team for complex fires. So staffing is a real concern if we should get another big fire to blow up in Oregon. As for the wildfires going on right now, they're happening in north central Oregon. Lightning moved through last week. Fire crews say this summer's extra dry conditions have led to rapid growth. Fire managers say they're seeing extreme fire behavior on some of those fires with conditions typically seen in September.
We had a really light winter this year, and with that, we're seeing fuel levels that are a couple months ahead of maybe where they should be.
We were anticipating these conditions. We're not enjoying these conditions by any means, so that we could prepare all we wanted, but it is pretty tough out there at the moment.
Wildfire Incident Command managers say they've seen concerning patterns with many of the fires, including the Brewer, Akawa Butte, and Pilot fires. However, the smaller 120-acre Pilot fire is 20% contained. Still no containment on the 7,000-acre Akawa Butte fire or the rapidly growing 18,000-acre Brewer fire. Crews say they're bringing in as much heavy equipment as they can and hand crews to try to hold the fires in their current footprints. An emergency management team is coordinating resources, including the influx of firefighters from California. They say to watch those evacuation updates because they can change quickly. In Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
And meanwhile, in Washington, at least 39 active wildfires have burned more than 133,000 acres across the state. One of the largest is the Kaiser Canyon fire burning on the Colville Reservation. It's about 100 miles northeast of Spokane. It's spread to more than 60,000 acres and is still 0% contained. Level 3 evacuations still in effect in some areas there. And near the Washington-Idaho border, the Lyons Ferry fire burning in Whitman County is over 34,000 acres. It's now 28% contained. And as those fires continue to burn, smoke from them and wildfires burning in Canada expected to make its way to Washington's west side. Hazy conditions and a drop in air quality could come as soon as later today or tomorrow. This video shows what cities across the U.S. look like over the weekend, especially along the northern tier, that includes Chicago and New York. Now, the thickest smoke is expected near the central and northern Cascades. Some communities east of the Cascades are already dealing with unhealthy to hazardous air as wildfires continue to burn. All right, let's get to meteorologist Rod Hill now up on the weather deck. And Rod, hey, you're seeing some smoke in the Cascades over Mount Hood, right?
Yeah, really thick. I'm up here in the weather deck brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. Let's get right to the live Timberline camera looking out over the summit. Now, it is cloudy up over Mount Hood, but if you look carefully, you can see the brownish tones and what looks to be kind of some foggy conditions. That is thick wildfire smoke that has drifted north from the Central Oregon fires up over the summit of Mount Hood. It's 65 degrees up there at 6,000 feet. And here's another camera. This is in Central Oregon in the Sisters area. This is from Aspen Lakes Golf Course. And you should be able to see the Three Sisters Mountains. And the reason you can't, some cloudiness, yes, but a lot of wildfire haze and smoke in the sky as well. Here's what our Futurecast models show. Look at the red tones and the purple tones near to just outside of Bend. and then making their way up 84 toward the Blues. That's all very thick wildfire smoke projected for this afternoon and again tomorrow. Tim mentioned some of the air quality is already quite poor. Unhealthy are the red dots. Some of this is hazardous in both central and eastern Oregon, as you can see. All right, I do want to show you that we have some needed rain working its way up across parts of our region in central and eastern Oregon, but the rainfall totals have been quite light. Temperature marks for us this afternoon, we think we'll at least be up into the 80s. The bigger story, hot 90s starting tomorrow, and we'll talk about the KGW weather impact alert coming up in just a bit in the show. Tim, for now, back to you.
Thanks, Rod. We'll see you soon. Okay, we're going to ask you to take a look at your screen now. Gresham police are asking for help finding this missing 12-year-old. Police say Aviana Bartlett was last seen yesterday afternoon near Southeast 6th Street and Hogan Road in Gresham. She was wearing a red jacket, black pants, and black and pink shoes. She's 5'8" and has her hair in braids. Anyone who sees her or knows where she is should call 911. Well, the owner of a roadside zoo along the Oregon coast who pled guilty to animal neglect charges is expected to be sentenced later today. In May of 2025, law enforcement seized more than 300 animals from the West Coast Game Park Safari in Bandon, following a lengthy criminal investigation into the park's operations. Animals were found malnourished and eating food contaminated by rodent feces. Officers also discovered meth, cocaine, dozens of guns, and about $1.6 million in cash. Back in April, Brian Tenney pleaded guilty to 43 counts of animal neglect as well as weapon, drug, and racketeering charges. He's set to be sentenced at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Well, developing this afternoon in Cowlitz County, police are now asking for help identifying a person's body after someone reported seeing it entangled in brush along the Cowlitz River bank back in May. The county's dive team recovered the body of a 40 to 50-year-old woman. And this piece of jewelry, look at that right there. An autopsy was not able to confirm her identity, but they hope that that jewelry might help someone have a memory of who this person is. If you have information, do reach out to Kelso Police. Well, a father and son are accused of holding 2 U.S. Forest Service employees hostage for nearly 15 hours in Northern California. Investigators say Joseph Charles Henriksen and his son, Phoenix, zip-tied the workers and held them at gunpoint inside a trailer near Mount Shasta. After hours of negotiations, both hostages were safely released and the suspects surrendered a short time later.
Their well-being continues to be our highest priority. We're staying close to them and their loved ones, making sure they have the support and the space that they need after what they've been through.
Well, the acting U.S. attorney says both men will face federal kidnapping charges for allegedly abducting federal employees. Well, the Timbers, they are close to closing a deal with their new head coach, their next head coach. According to a team source, the Timbers want Marty Cifuentes for the top job. The Athletic also reports Cifuentes is waiting for his visa before he can take over for interim head coach Jack Cassidy. The 44-year-old from Spain has experience managing at some of the top leagues in Europe. Cifuentes would be the Timbers' 5th head coach of the MLS era.